Maybe it's much too early in the game. Oh, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Who's gonna be the one to...
G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran and welcome to another GuitarZero2Hero song tutorial. The new year is just around the corner, so I thought I'd show you guys how to play What Are You Doing New Year's Eve. This particular version that I'm going to show you was covered by Zooey Deschanel and Joseph Leavitt. And you can check out the cover here. It's a really awesome performance. So for the basics of this song, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. This song is going to be comprised of lots and lots of bar chords. Now if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. In the ebook, there's a section on bar chords that shows all the different shapes that we'll actually use in the song as well. Now for this song, what Joseph Leavitt does when he plays it is he finger picks all the chords. We're not using a pick here. Basically the finger picking will be the same for every single chord. We're going to be picking 4 strings at any one time. The 4 strings will be the bass note of whatever chord you're playing, and the 4th, the 3rd and 2nd strings. Now you'll pluck those with your index, middle and ring finger. Let's say we're playing an A bar chord for example. You'll be then plucking the bass note, which is the 6th string, and then the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings all together at the same time, like that. And that picking is going to be used throughout the whole song. So the bass note of the chord and those 3 strings, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd with these 3 fingers. Let's start with the intro, and we have 4 chord shapes here. Above each chord, there'll be a little number, and this will just indicate the amount of times that you need to pluck that particular chord. We start with our A bar chord, which looks like that. The second chord that we're going to play is D sharp diminished 7. Now this is a chord you probably have never come across, but this is how you play it. Take your middle finger, place it on the 6th fret of the 5th string. Then your ring finger will go on the 7th fret of the 4th string. Index will go on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And your pinky will go on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. The bass note's the 5th string here, and you'll be also plucking, of course, the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So that's D sharp diminished 7. Third chord is simply a D minor bar chord on the 5th string, like that. And then our 4th chord is an E7. So it's a bar chord on the 7th fret to the 9th fret. You'll place your ring finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string and your pinky on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. That's E7. Now for the first 3 chords, you'll pluck them twice each, and for the E7, you'll just strum all the strings like that and hold onto it for 4 beats. So the intro will just sound like this. Now after every pluck, you're not going to let the strings ring out for too long. You're going to actually lift your fretting fingers so that there's a little bit of a cut or a staccato feel between each of the plucks. So you pluck it, let go, and then pluck again, and then let go. As opposed to plucking it, holding on, and then plucking it again. This will give it more of a boppy feel and will be more true to the cover that they play. So again, one more time. Let's get into the verse chords, and we have 3 lines here. Our first line of chords is an A major bar chord. So this is what we started on at the start of the song. And we're going to pluck that 4 times, and then we're going to go to a G7. Now for the G7 chord shape, it's going to be almost identical to the major chord shape, except you'll lift your pinky finger. And then we're going to go to the G bass note here. So that's on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And our G7 chord shape will look like that. Almost identical to the major bar chord shape, except you lift your pinky finger. You're going to play G7 for 4 plucks. Then we get to our second line and we go back to the A bar chord. And we're going to pluck that twice. And then we're going to lift our pinky finger to play an A7. So identical to the major, but you just lift your pinky. So that's A7. And then we're going to play a D major bar chord. So to do that, we have our index finger barring the 5th fret, but the bass note will be on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and all the other fingers get placed on the 7th fret of the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings. So that's D major bar chord, and then we're going to play the D minor bar chord for 2 picking patterns. Now we get to our 3rd line and we go back to the A bar chord for 2 picking patterns, and then we're going to go to an F sharp 7 bar chord. Now we're going to use the F sharp bass note here, and we're going to use the 7 bar chord shape. So again, it's almost identical to the major bar chord shape, except you're lifting your pinky. F sharp 7 for 2 plucks, and then we're going to go up to B7, and that is the exact same chord shape, except our bass note here is the B, which is the 7th fret of the 6th string. So we're going to play B7 for 4 plucks, and then we're going to go to our E7, which is just 1 string down, and this bar chord shape that we learnt before. And we're going to play that for 4 plucks. Again, we're going to be muting the strings after every pluck, so we get that staccato and boppy vibe. And to do that, you just lift your fingers off, pushing down those strings. In total, the verse will just sound like this. And that's it for the verse. Now we get to the first break, and break 1 is almost identical to the intro. It's the exact same 4 chords, except when we get to this E7, you're not just going to strum it once, you're going to play it for 2 plucks. So break 1 just sounds like this. Then we get to verse 2, which is exactly the same as verse 1. And then after verse 2, there's break 2. Now break 2 is just simply 2 chords. We have A, and we're going to pluck that for 4 plucks, and then we go down to a G sharp 7. Now that shape is down 1 fret, and you're going to lift your pinky, and we're going to play that for 4 plucks. So altogether, break 2 will just sound like this. After break 2, we get into the bridge. Now the bridge has 4 lines of chords here. For the first line of chords, we're going to start with the C sharp minor bar chord. Now that's a 5th string minor bar chord. So your index will play the 4th fret of the 5th string and then bar everything else. And then your ring and pinky will go on the 6th fret of the 4th and 3rd strings. And your middle finger will go on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. At C sharp minor, and you're going to pluck that 4 times, and then we go to F sharp minor. So that's a minor 6th string bar chord shape. So index finger will play the 2nd fret of the 6th string and bar everything else, and your ring and pinky will play the 4th fret of the 5th and 4th strings, like that. You're going to pluck that twice, and then we're going to move that exact same chord shape up to the A minor shape. So, which is 5th fret and 7th fret. And you're playing that for 2 plucks as well. So that first line will just sound like this. Then for the second line, we start again with this C sharp minor bar chord. And then we go to D sharp minor 7. So that's basically the exact same chord shape, up 2 frets. And then you're going to lift your pinky as well. That's D sharp minor 7. We're playing that for 2 plucks, and then we go down 1 fret and we're going to play a D7 for 2 plucks. The D7 chord shape is identical to the E7 chord shape we play, just down 2 frets. Then we get to the third line of chords and we have C sharp minor again. We're going to play that for 6 plucks, and then we're going to go to F sharp 7. So this is a 7 bar chord shape with your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. We're going to play this chord shape twice, and Then for the fourth line, we simply have the B7 chord shape. So from this F#7 chord shape, you're leaving your fingers where they are, just sliding that entire shape up to the 7th and 9th fret. Play that for 4 plucks, and then we end on the E7 for 4 plucks. So in total, the bridge will sound like this. After the bridge, we go back into another verse, which is the same as verse 1 and verse 2. And then there's one more break after verse 3. For this break, we have 3 chords. We start in the A major bar chord, and we're going to play this for 3 plucks. And then we're going to go to an F minor 7 bar chord, but up on the 5th string here. Your index finger will be playing the 8th fret of the 5th string and then barring everything else. And then your ring finger will go on the 10th fret of the 4th string and middle finger on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. Like that. Now this is the only chord in the song where you'll be plucking the 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings. So you'll just move those 3 fingers down to pluck 3rd, 2nd and 1st string, and your thumb will play the bass note, which is the 5th string. You're going to pluck that once, and then we go to an E7 chord. We pluck that twice, and then after we've plucked it twice, we're just going to strum it down like that. So the 3rd break sounds like this. Then we get to our outro and we have an A major bar chord. And we're just going to strum each of these chords. Just with our thumb, we're just going to stroke all the strings down like that. We're not going to pluck it. We're going to play the A for 2 beats. And then we're going to go down to F#7. So that's almost the exact same chord shape, except you lift your pinky. We're going to play that for 2 beats. And then we're going to go up to a B7. So it's the exact same chord shape up at the 7th and 9th fret. B7 for 4 beats. And then we're going to go to E7 for 4 beats. And then we end our song on the A, which is our starting chord. So the outro will just sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all you need to learn. As I mentioned, for this song, it's comprised mostly of bar chords. So it's really important that you understand the different forms and shapes of bar chords. And if you visit GuitarZero2Hero.com and pick up my free guitar ebook, it will show you all that. So now I'm going to be doing a playthrough of the full song, and I'm going to have a vocal track on top for some context. So feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice play along to and see how you go.
Maybe it's much too early in the game. Oh, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing? New Year's Eve. Who's gonna be the one to hold you tight when it's exactly 12 o'clock at night? Welcoming in the New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose. Out of 1,000 invitations you receive. Oh, but in case I stand one little chance, Here comes the jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's Eve? What are you doing New Year's Eve?
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you all have a very, very happy new year. Thank you so much for watching my videos this year in 2016. It's been a massive year for me growing my channel, and it's been more than I could have ever imagined, so thank you very much. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave your thoughts, comments, and questions and requests below, and I'll see you guys next year on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.